There we go. All right. Good morning. Um, First up, I'd like to thank Robert Baty for allowing me to come back and join the group, and I'll try to be a good boy and control my mouth a little bit better. But one reason I was really glad to be back in the group is there's a lot of stuff there's said about me, and people looking into what I'm doing and stuff like that. And I wasn't able to respond or to talk about it. But one gentleman, I don't even know his name here. Seem to be really, really interested in the four bus claims. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that. I know that there were Antifa in Washington D.C. on January the 6th. I know this because they approached many people around the country, trying to get operatives to go and do exactly what you saw happen, right? And Antifa has grown. It has it's got more, its members are evolving. Used to, there were a bunch of rowdy kids, like down in Austin. They would run around shout and scream and curse at people and be, you know, in the way, basically, and everything. And now the membership that seems to be running the Antifa is an older, more seasoned, I guess seasoned would be the best word, that they realize that to get what they want, they can't run around and act like that. They have to go in and they have to do things, you know, in a more, not civilized, I'm not going to call them civilized, but they go in and they push all the buttons and then they get out of Dodge as quick as they can so they don't take the blame for pushing all the buttons. Their idea is to basically overthrow what they consider to be a fascist society. And to do that, they realize now that they have to do it in a little bit different way. And I think that's what happened. They got in there in Washington, they did their trick, and then they got out. Okay, and then they got out, and then the guy with the horns on his head took all the blame. So that's what's going on. Now, trying to, there was so much said about me and Doc today, I've got to go down through here. Giles, Giles Denny said, you must have gotten his attention, the headless chicken. Yeah, I like that. The headless chicken. That's you know. Okay. Here we go. Giles, he says, and I'm going to address this. According to the stories, he has successfully fought off CPS on behalf of his grandkids, and he's chummy with the head CPS folks in Texas, one or more. Okay. You'll have to read the book Saving Carrie. It's a highly fictionalized account of what happened in Utah, but if you dig in there, you'll find little, you know, parts of truth and everything. What we run across was um, Ted and I went up to Utah because my little girl Puck was in trouble, and we honestly thought it was some kind of a slap fight between two little girls. And what we walked into was a child sex trafficking operation being headed up by a school principal and being fostered by a supervisor of CPS. And they would pick out a little girl, a little Gentile, and they would send a CPS crew over there, and they would, you know, interview the little girl and the family and all that, and then they'd find a placement for the little girl, and the placement was always down near St. George or something like that. Then the little girl would disappear. Okay, and that's what happened, and they were trying to do that to my little girl, which, you know, okay, all right. Um, the basic story says, as I recall, one of his daughters, that would be Jacqueline, okay, got into trouble and wound up having 5 kids transferred. One of Puck to one of his ex-wives. Yes, my wife Pamela adopted the 5 kids. That is the part in the movie Traveling Shoes where Jack says, I'm standing at the gates of the Alamo and they're going to scatter my kids all over the state. And she threw herself under the bus to save her children. That really happened. Um, oh, Jesus, hold it. Let's see. And Pam did marry a retired military guy. His name was Joseph, um, virtual saint. He came in. He was a widower, and he married Pam, and all of his benefits were transferred to the kids, um, and they have a comfortable life, and they live in I call it the the ski lodge up in Utah and everything, and they live up there happily. Um, Pam does not like it up there because it's cold, but the kids, they get into it. They get into it. Now, my granddaughter Puck, the Puckster, she has a reactive attachment disorder, and if you want to know what that is, and you want to know how it works, just go to YouTube and type in "child of rage," and you'll meet a little lady called Beth Thomas. Beth Thomas was the first diagnosed RAD, that when they actually recognized what she had. She was homicidal. Puck's a little bit homicidal too. Um, she wanted to kill her mom and dad in the bed, and this is we're talking about a 6-year-old girl, 6-year-old girl, all right. And yes, Puck has RAD. She's also autistic, but she's also brilliant in a lot of ways. She writes real well. Pretty kid, great kid. In fact, you'll see her at the end of this video. She's the one that's laughing, going, "Who boy?" That's her. Let's see. I can't find the other thing where he told me I was an alcoholic, which I probably am. We all are now. With this pandemic has got us all locked down pretty good, which has actually been good for business. When you can't, anything else to do except sit and wait, and you're a writer, well, you write. And he did give me credit. It's quite a tale. Wilbur has written quite a bit about it all, books, articles, and online posts. That is true. That is true. I've written about 5 books now. Ted and I are writing 3 more. There's Saving Carrie, Lindsay Park, The Arms Dealer. That we're writing 3 books at the same time, and all that kind of stuff. My family is up in Salt Lake. I am in Texas, and that's the way we were all stuck. I will stay civilized, and I do thank you again, Robert, for allowing me to come back on and at least address questions, and I will, address anybody who wants to ask me a question. I'll give you the best answers. The buses, I know the buses were there. I know Antifa was there, and I'm not going to back up on that one bit until I can prove it. I like it when people communicate, and I don't mind being microanalyzed. It doesn't bother me at all. Okay, Puck, get me out of here.